Okay, there's your warning. All right. And hello to everybody on the live stream and everybody live in the meeting here with me. These Thursday evening Zoom meetups are the public-facing part of the VidWheel Creator Network. And the VidWheel Creator Network is essentially a video support group. We have a closed social media and e-learning network, which teaches you how to use your gear and provides you a community of other folks that are building their businesses through video. We offer opportunities to learn strategy, technique, and other video-related skills. So if you find what you hear tonight intriguing and you like the content, feel free first to share it and, let people know about it. But this may also be a good group for you. So feel free to come check us out. If you want to book a time, I would love to chat video. And, if you want to talk about how it might be able to help your business, there is a meeting link in the description. The live stream itself is a good preview of a VidWheel Creator Network Zoom meetup. But if you want to get the full experience, join all of us in the Zoom meeting for the next meeting, which we have a real quick turnaround on this next one. The next is Thursday, March 3rd at 8 p.m. Eastern. It's a presentation by coach and entrepreneur Greg Gray titled Why Most Virtual Presentations Suck and Yours Don't Have to. And that is how we're going to kick off presentations through Video Month. This event, the event with Greg Gray, will be published at events.vidwheel.com. You can also find that link in the description of this live stream. And with all that, let's get to it. We talked about why you might want to live stream last meeting and why it could be good for your personal brand. Today, I'm going to walk you through a simple live streaming setup that you can use for solo or multi-person live streaming situations. And let me just check this here. I've already introduced myself, but I'm Neil Carroll, owner of VidWheel, and we are going to look at high quality, simple live streaming with OBS. So this is going to be, hopefully a pretty simple setup that you can follow along with. And if not, we'll have the recorded version that I'm happy to make available to anyone who wants to get their hands on it. So first off, I should bring up that OBS is not just for live streaming. You can use it effectively to capture yourself, with graphics and effects in live produced video, or you could use it to capture interviews and even remotely shoot somebody else with it. So with all that, let's get to it. So in this presentation, we're going to cover why you might want to live stream, why you might want to do it with OBS, and we're going to go step by step through a simple setup to get you up and running, including, kind of the nuts and bolts of how to hit go when it comes time to stream. So why live stream? The number one reason is authenticity, and I get it. This is the most overused buzzword in business right now, but that doesn't make it any less important, especially to solopreneurs and small business owners. You being you is going to attract people who find you wonderful, or at least palatable, with a good dose of credibility, which is a good transition to the second reason to live stream, which is you're building your credibility and expert status. When your video is live versus pre-recorded, you prove you know your stuff if you answer a question off, on the fly. Or maybe you don't, but I would assume that everyone in this room, being as where they are in their fields, that live streaming is going to help you build your credibility and expert status. The third reason, and I think one of the biggest reasons, especially for solopreneurs, is there's no post-production. So from a lot of conversations I've had with smaller business owners, the number one reason that they can't consistently produce video content, regardless of how good it is for their business and, all the things that go with that, is it takes too long to script, set up shoots, or edit, distribute, whatever the hang-up is. And that is all done in one shot when you're live streaming. So that's why you live stream. Why OBS? So one good reason is it's free. That's actually the reason I started using OBS, was simply because it was a free option. It's an open source community developed piece of software, and they keep it free. When I first started using it, and we were, doing the regular video production house type work, we would occasionally have live events, and this is back before the pandemic. And we needed free software because the events that we streamed were very sporadic, right? We'd have one or two in a row, and then we wouldn't have them for months after that. We were doing them really as like an add-on for our true bread and butter production services. And most of the other options come with a monthly fee. So it just didn't make sense for our use case. Free did. And what I figured out through the pandemic is the second point there, which is that they're also, OBS is also really, really flexible. And this is going to continue on that pandemic storyline. Early on in this group, we had a member named Nathan Warner, who him and I started talking a lot about OBS, and he became a full-on OBS enthusiast. He presented to this group actually on OBS last year during live streaming month. Stemming from those conversations early on, I started doing things a little differently. So to that point, I was still making my videos the old-fashioned way. I would script, shoot, edit, distribute. And with all the pandemic challenges that included childcare and move to a new house and this business and all the other stuff going on, I wasn't getting much production done. And so I started live producing my videos using OBS. And then as that was working out so well, I started recording my podcast using OBS. Started doing live streams, remote shoots. And when it comes down to it, all of those things put together prove just how flexible a tool it is. The other great reason to consider OBS is it's got a huge community. So I love open source community-based projects because of that community aspect. To me, the resources that are available through OBS are better than a lot of commercial products. It's easy to find answers on how to do something, how to fix a common bug, coming updates through the OBS community. There's message boards, blog posts, 1,000,001 YouTube channels, all dedicated to this software. And those are the reasons I choose this software. Okay, so I put this in the notes for the event, but if you missed it, it is best if you have some understanding of how OBS works before we really get rolling here. If you don't, no problem. You can come back to this tutorial video. I'm happy to share it with anybody who needs it. it is a super simple primer in OBS that I put together for the VidWheel Creator Network. So it'll be available as part of this presentation if you'd like that, or we can include a link. So assuming that you already know how to set up a video and audio feed in OBS, you're already ready to live stream. And if you're not interested in this next section where we set up a video interview room to be captured, you can skip right to the streaming part, which will be coming up in about 10 more minutes here. And if you are still interested in hanging out and taking a look at what we're doing here, I am going to go ahead. Sorry, I never spotlighted myself. That's amateur stuff right there. So now that we really need to be able to see the presentation, I'm spotlighted and hopefully I'm full screen for everybody. We are going to look at how to set up VDO.ninja, which is formerly OBS Ninja. This program is just a little add-on that works really well with OBS. And that is the web page there. VDO.ninja is the web address. So this is what the website looks like. Mostly, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in on that so that we can see the icons, and we'll start going. Before we do that, any questions? Anybody lost already or anything? Because it's about to get palatable, huh? Yeah. That's how I consider myself too. So,
Neil.
Yes.
VDO Ninja is a link or someplace you get to it from OBS, right? I'm sure.
Let me share the link with you. So this is just a web site, right? And this is how you would have people sign in, and then we feed the video chat from this website to OBS.
Okay.
It should hopefully make sense shortly, but there's the link. I just popped it in the chat there. Okay, so it's a pretty simple setup. This is just the VDO.ninja website. You would just choose create a room, and then we need a room name. So this is a chance, if anybody, this is actually Russ, this is your chance to shine. It's like almost an improv thing. Give me a funny room name that we can use.
Oh, bananas were peeled.
Okay.
Bananas repealed.
Okay. Repealed. Peeled like repealed or that'll work. That's good enough. All right. Yeah. So so you're going to want to pick a room name like that, something that is unique. And part of the reason that you're going to want to pick a unique one, as I was telling Len and Barb about in our office hours meeting today, I used test as the room while I was setting up this presentation, and got a little tour of somebody's living room who was also using test as a room name. So bananas repealed, we should be fine. The other thing you're going to want to make sure that you do is check this box. The director will be performing as well as appearing in group scenes, and then we'll enter the control room here. So the first thing you're going to want to do here is you want to bookmark this page, right? In Chrome, it's as easy as hitting the little star and bookmarking, but this is how you are always going to be able to enter your room again without an issue. There is a little save option here too, but it's not really necessary. You can just bookmark that page, and that's how you'll enter as the director of the page. The next thing as the director that you should do is turn on the microphone and video. We're going to have a slightly different setup today because we don't want a terrible feedback loop like we got during testing. Oh, you know what? Hang on one sec. That is getting picked up over here. Technical glitch here. So, okay.
I have a quick question for you, Neil.
Yeah.
So your screen capture that we're seeing is quite a bit grainier than the rest, and
yes.
So it's kind of hard to read, and I was just curious if that's
well, it is was
it less of a complaint and more of a trying to understand what's happening.
Yes. Well, this came up in testing too, actually. It's a little grainy, but I'm happy to walk through things after the fact too, I guess. And I do have another recording here, but really what you got to keep your eyes on is just, so far all we've done is really bookmark here and then sign on with your video camera, and I'll try to verbally go through it as well, so hopefully it works. And
it is. It is. I was just curious for my own. I'm like trying to learn what you're doing as well as what you're teaching.
So the reason that it is a little bit pixelated is because I'm using a part of my second monitor to do this picture-in-picture. I've got the presentation on one monitor and then a part of my second monitor where this all lives. So it's not coming through at full res, probably. Does that make sense?
I think so.
Okay. But it's an imperfect system, but it is one that I'm just trying for tonight. So I appreciate the feedback either way. Where was I, though? Hang on now. Now I got to get back to where I was. Okay, so I turned on I turned on my camera and mic, and you can see my second camera here. And now I need a volunteer. Does anybody want to volunteer to jump into this impromptu live stream room? We won't be streaming, so nothing to be afraid of.
I will.
All right, Chris is in. All right, so that brings us to the next step, which is to invite a guest. It's right here in this blue box. We'll copy that link. Chris, I'm putting it into the chat. You may have to turn off your camera here in the Zoom meeting, but you can leave your audio on.
All right.
All right.
There goes that. And now I do this, looks like.
Yep. And so the sign-in should be pretty simple. I've put a lot of people through it without much of an issue. It's just, start a video feed, and then the drop downs are just like any other video program you would be going into.
Join room with camera, it says.
Yes. Right. So you're going to hop into the room with your camera. Your audio doesn't matter much because we're not going to be able to use it because of the feedback loop issue. But shortly, Chris should show up right next to me here. Oh, there he is. So this is a preview feed of myself and Chris running through OBS Ninja. I am going to choose to mute Chris just to avoid our feedback loop issue. And now with this video chat going, we're all set. This is what we need to do the interview and go ahead and bring everything down to OBS. So the next thing we're going to do is capture a group scene. There are a lot of options that you can get into here. I suggest that you just choose copy link and use the basic settings for now. So we've copied the link to that group scene. We are going to hop over here to our OBS setup. And in this OBS setup, you may have other scene collections. This is one of mine. You're going to want to make a new one for this live streaming setup that you'll be able to use again in the future. So we'll go bananas off of Russ's room name there. And now that we've created that new scene collection, we are going to bring that feed of Chris and I into OBS here. So all we have to do is hit this little plus sign down in the sources to add a new source. Now this menu does drop out of my little inset, so I'm going to pull it up a little. But it's browser right here. It's got the little planet. That's the one you want. We're also going to name that banana. We'll call it banana feed, so that we, have a good idea of what these elements are that are coming in. So this is our browser feed. We're going to paste the URL in here, and we will make this a full HD feed, which is 1920 by 1080, and that is also the default canvas size in OBS, so that should work well for you. You also do want to make sure you click this control audio via OBS box, and then we'll hit OK. Fix my window here, and there is Chris and I piped into OBS. So at this point, we could start streaming, or we could record the conversation between Chris and I. And the video feeds that come through here are going to be significantly higher quality than what you're able to grab through, say, a Zoom meeting or another video chat program. But you look at it and you say, well, that looks a lot like the Zoom meeting. Can we, kind of do anything more exciting than that? And you can. What you can do is, first, this video feed, you can adjust size and location just by, pulling on the corners of that video feed and moving it around if you wanted to do anything different with it. You can also add things like images, which again, it's going to be pressing the plus button under sources, and well, that's going to be out of frame again. Here we go. Press the plus button under sources and go down to image, and choosing an image off of your computer. So I think I put some stuff. Yeah, here we go.
Must have a banana in there somewhere.
No banana, but we got this porcupine who's pretty scary, so we'll put him in there. And then the way the layering works is the layer on top of these sources is in front of everything else. So if you want things behind other layers, you pull them down to the bottom. So yeah, now we got Chris and I and a porcupine. You can bring in color sources. This is on screen, right? So, which would be, blocks of color that you could use. And if you know your hex, you can put it in for branded colors, or choose from an array, or pick a screen color, which we have found, if I'm remembering correctly, does not work on Macs, right, Lynn? No picking a screen color. So, but you can bring that in and, make that part of the action. You can also bring in things like text. You press plus there, text. Oh, that's off the screen, but it is just an item on that same source thing that's text. Do the banana cast, you get a lot of fonts and stuff to choose from, and you can resize that. And you can also bring in media and stuff as well there. So you can really dress it up, and as a live stream, have a really stunning composition like this one, and stream it out there. So now you're ready to stream. We're going to look at what it looks like to stream something like this from OBS to LinkedIn. Okay, so here we're going to go down to settings in the bottom right corner of OBS there, and we'll choose stream. You can see, or if it's too pixelated, maybe not, but up at the top here, it gives you an option to choose the service that you want to stream to. There's a whole bunch of services. A lot of popular ones are up at the top here. If you hit show all, there's a great many services, but one service that is not on here is LinkedIn Live. So we're going to run through how to do this with LinkedIn Live, which is just to use a custom setup here. And we're going to put in a server link and a stream key. So with that, I'm going to hop over to LinkedIn, which, there we go. Which, to go to LinkedIn Live, if you have not done it, you go to linkedin.com/videos/go live. Your account, whether it's your personal account or your company page, will have to be set up with or approved for LinkedIn streaming. But once you are, and that's an easy thing to do, it's an automatic process now. If you have a creator account, then you can do that. So on the LinkedIn Live page, gives you a couple options. You could go live right now, which is what we'll run through. You could also schedule for later. You see, if you toggle schedule for later, you can pick a different date. You can set a time, but you're not able to access those streaming settings until 1 hour before your scheduled start time. You can, in either case, create a post that promotes your upcoming live stream there as well. You can set a time. The menu here, LinkedIn Live, you could create a new stream, manage your streams, get some help. They've got a tutorial there. So the only one you're really going to end up doing here probably is manage streams. If you have a number of streams scheduled, that'll be how you access those. All right, so back to our streaming setup here. All you have to do to stream to LinkedIn Live is right down here, you'll choose pick a region and pick the one that is most appropriate to you, and then hit get URL. The URL here, you can see here's the stream URL, which we can copy and go back over to our OBS setup. Nope, not that one. Sorry. Okay. And go back over to our OBS setup. I see that this is coming off screen a little, but the server is this first one, so you would just replace that. And then the stream key, you would copy, go back over to OBS, put the stream key here. And at that point, you're ready. You would hit apply, and you're ready to stream to LinkedIn. We do have one more thing that we can check, which is probably defaulted if you haven't messed with any of the streaming stuff in OBS. But if not, you might want to take a look at the output here, which the output mode when you first open OBS should be set to simple, which is what I would recommend you start with. And then I would recommend you uncheck this box if it's checked, the advanced encoder settings. This is the most basic setup that you can get for streaming. It's just got your video bitrate, and that's it. If you are, let me see, I put it in here somewhere. Got goofed up with my notes. If you're not sure, or your streams are coming through and they're just not really working all that well, you could adjust your bitrate, but I would just leave it where it's at or where it defaults to start for now. So with that, apply. hit OK. And now on this window with our banana cast, we are going to hit start streaming. And that's really the long and short of it from OBS. You can see you get this nice green box. That means you are streaming. It gives you the bit rate that it's streaming, along with your normal stuff down there. And I will jump over to, I got too many windows open. Oh, here we go. And so now I've jumped back over. You can see Chris and I previewing here in the LinkedIn Live preview. This is how we would come across if we were going to go live with this. To go live at this point, you just hit that button right there that says go live. And then you are streaming a interview between two people, between Chris and I, with all the fixins to LinkedIn or wherever else you want to. Let's see. So you can keep an eye on the analytics and the stream health here to see how things are going with your, the stream health is the more important one. You want to see your video bit rate, make sure it's got this nice excellent thing here going on, and then when you're done, you can hit go live again up here and it'll take you offline, and you can also shut down your streaming on the OBS side. Now I do always like to let people know too that there's kind of a weird start and stop thing when you're live streaming to LinkedIn like this. And what it is that you're going to hit go live and LinkedIn may pick up like the previous 10 seconds or something like that. And when you do that, you just got to be sure that you're in a good kind of, I guess, down position to hit go live. Don't be doing something and then, like go and hit go live and people get to see you, I don't know, finishing your lunch or something like that. I bring that up because I've had that experience, not finishing my lunch, but fidgeting with something, and then all of a sudden it's on the live stream. That's the downside. The plus side is after the stream is done, you have the ability to go back and edit that stream. You can cut the head and the tail off of it. And the other thing to note is this is why so many people use those countdown timers. If you use a countdown minute timer, then like the worst people are going to see is a couple extra seconds of that timer if, it picks up a few extra seconds there. So with that, I am going to shut down our LinkedIn live stream. I am going to stop our streaming on our test test thing. Chris, you're welcome to hang up if you would like to in that VDO.ninja room. And yeah, that worked out pretty well. Thank you for doing that. And pretty much that's it. You're a live streamer. You can have conversations, interviews with people, conversations up to 3 or 4 people through this very same system. And one other thing that hopefully Chris can still hear us, because it was something I told him I was going to talk about tonight. A lot of people want to stream to multiple places, right? You've got a Facebook following, you've got a LinkedIn following, you have a YouTube following. If you want to push out multiple streams from the system, you have 2 options. The first option, and probably the safer option, is Restream.io, which is a service that actually has a preset in OBS that you can send your stream to, and they will distribute from their servers out to wherever else things need to go. The other option is there is a plugin for OBS called Multiple Outputs, where you can do pretty much what we did, where we set up a streaming link and stream key for multiple locations, the thing to keep an eye on is that you're going to be broadcasting all of those streams from your system. So you need to have the bandwidth in your connection to deal with all of those streams. And of course, every stream, it's an exponential issue. If you're streaming to 5 places versus 2, it's going to be quite a bit more strain on that connection. And with that, I gotta hit another hotkey here. But with that, that is it. What we covered, we looked at why you might want to live stream, why you might want to use OBS. We looked at the setup of OBS and VDO.ninja. Well, I guess we didn't really look at the setup of OBS initially, but we did on the back end. And then we looked at streaming, how you would connect OBS to LinkedIn Live specifically, but it's an even simpler process to just hook it up with one of those presets for a different service. And with that, I wonder if anybody has any questions, or if that was just too crazy.
What when you're with LinkedIn, there was an option to go live immediately or schedule it.
Yeah.
So if you're scheduling it, it could have, as far as LinkedIn is concerned, it isn't live. It would be just like a pre-recorded video, correct?
No, you're scheduling the live event. So it actually creates an event, much like the event that we made for this this meeting, right?
Yeah.
It'll allow people to say they're attending. You can invite people to it, and then it just creates an event at that time that they expect you to live stream, right?
Oh, all right, gotcha.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Put up a preview picture. It calls it an event.
Okay.
And it has the time you scheduled it and all that. I'm sorry, Neil. Go ahead.
No, you got it. And Chris does more LinkedIn lives than I do, so feel free to jump in. But yeah, that's a good question, and ultimately, yeah, that's what it comes down to. They're letting you schedule the event, the time that you'll go live.
Oh, I see.
So.
Okay.
All right.
I'm glad I asked.
Yeah. Yeah. Or else you would have been in. Yeah.
It'll also create pictures on Facebook. Nowhere else. YouTube, actually, too. It'll do it on YouTube, and it won't do it on Twitter. I don't think it does it on Twitch either. But anyway.
So you see pictures, a thumbnail that you.
Well, you can actually. What I do is I create artwork beforehand.
Okay. Yeah.
1920 by 1080 generally, and once you, I don't know how OBS works. That's why I'm here, because I want to learn about it. But I use StreamYard, but it's the same idea. It'll create the event, and then you put a picture in there. Does it work that way, Neil? Can you put a picture in there yourself, or does it not do that in OBS?
For like opening
to start the event.
To start the event, yeah, you would have probably a different scene where you have like I typically started out with a timer, like you'll see a lot on LinkedIn. Okay.
But I mean, as far as the scheduling, and say you want to do it 3 hours from now, what picture does it use?
Well, I mean, the picture on LinkedIn, you're saying that it probably links up with LinkedIn and then creates an event through StreamYard. Allows you to do that from there.
StreamYard allows you to input your own imagery for that event. And does OBS?
You can do that through the LinkedIn event as well on that Go Live page. That I showed you. Cool. Hi, Martin. Sorry that I didn't let you in. I was presenting, so hopefully you were in the waiting room forever.
Not a problem at all. I think the UK time, I'd actually gone to sleep, and then I woke up in the middle of the sleep, and I realized, I'd opted to get into the meeting.
Yeah, well, you can get the replay.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I realized, the last one as
Yeah.
well, I wasn't available. And I later found out, on YouTube that, you'd actually, recorded it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and my timing's not kind to my European
Yeah, no
time,
problem.
so,
I just wanted to have the experience of, getting into this one.
yeah, right. So, but it's good that you made it for the end here. So,
Cheers.
anybody else have any questions, or can I move into the kind of closing comments, and then anyone's welcome to stick around and we can have questions off the live stream. Okay, cool. All right, well, with that, gotta find my place in my notes here. Here we go. So thank you to all of you that did join us via live stream, and thank you to everyone who came here live. Don't miss the next meeting, which is coming up just a week from now on March 3rd at 8 p.m. Eastern. It's a presentation by coach and entrepreneur Greg Gray titled Why Most Virtual Presentations Suck and Yours Doesn't Have to. You can go to events.vidwheel.com, which will link you to our business events page on LinkedIn, and you can RSVP there. So to all of you, thank you again. Have a good night.